Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got one for you straight out of Las Vegas. And what are the two biggest things that Las Vegas is known for is gambling and sex work. And this has both caveats in this story, and it also has a military man involved with an alleged murder of a sex worker he hired to meet him at the Palms Hotel, and he allegedly confessed to strangling and killing this woman over money. So let's see what's going on with this one. Man confesses to strangling, assaulting Las Vegas sex worker after he snapped. A man allegedly confessed to strangling and then sexually assaulting a sex worker inside a hotel room, leading him to turn himself in and face a murder charge, the 8 News Now investigators have learned. Larissa Garcia, 30 years old, died on June 21st, more than a week after the June 12th incident inside the Palms Casino Resort, documents said. Garcia used the names Andrea and Dallas in online escort advertisements. On Friday afternoon, Jason Kendall, 35, surrendered to police at Las Vegas Metro Police Headquarters, where officers booked him on charges of an open murder, sexual assault, and battery by strangulation to commit SA, documents said. The 8 News Now investigators first reported Kendall's arrest Friday evening. On June 12th, Mr. Kendall called police saying a woman was overdosing inside a hotel room at the Palms. Hotel security responded to the room, finding Garcia, the woman, on the floor with a cut to her jaw. Police did not initially respond as Mr. Kendall indicated Garcia had overdosed. At the hospital, doctors determined there was no alcohol or drugs in Miss Garcia's blood and that an overdose was not possible. Doctors then suspected Garcia was the victim of battery. Video surveillance from the Palms shows Mr. Kendall meeting Miss Garcia in the lobby around 4 p.m. About an hour later, video shows Kendall leaving the room and the hotel alone with no other person coming to the room or leaving until security arrived. Detectives later located messages between Mr. Kendall and Miss Garcia and a web history of Mr. Kendall viewing Garcia's escort advertisements, documents said. Police later met Mr. Kendall at a different hotel where he requested an attorney and declined to provide information. However, police noted Kendall had an injury to his back and shoulder. On June 18th, 6 days after the incident at the Palms, a nurse who specializes in SA examinations noted Garcia had been strangled and possibly suffocated. Garcia died at the hospital on June 21st after a doctor declared her brain dead. On that Friday, Mr. Kendall entered police headquarters to report an assault, documents say. In the report, Kendall confessed to a strangulation and an SA attack, documents said. Kendall told police he paid Miss Garcia $2,000 to have sex. Jason said Larissa requested additional payments and he snapped. He hit her in the face and choked her for 10 minutes. And then he had sex with her. After having sex with Larissa, Jason wrote he drug her away from the door and left. After having sex with Larissa, Jason wrote he drug her away from the door and left. After leaving the hotel, he called the police to report an overdose. It was unclear from the documents by the investigators, which they received on Monday. At what point Kendall knew Garcia was deceased, or if he knew it all before his self-surrender. The Clark County Coroner's Office said it did not have any information to provide about Garcia's death on Monday. The office will not release information in certain circumstances, including its officials cannot find until officials can find next of kin. Miss Garcia was the mother of 2 children and was attending school, friends said. Mr. Kendall is an Army veteran, sources say. While Metro Police issue press releases for every homicide, the department does not usually release ones for delayed deaths. The department released official news of Mr. Kendall's arrest on Saturday, a day after the 8 News Now investigators' original reporting. Kendall made his first court appearance on a Saturday afternoon where a judge ordered him held without bail until his next court appearance, which is scheduled in a few weeks. Man, this has details of several things that Vegas, of course, does not want to be released to end up hurting their tourism. I've been to Vegas 20 or 30 times over my lifetime. And I know in the past, I haven't been there in a few years, but I know in the past, sex work was illegal on the Strip, but is legal in the proper part of Las Vegas City proper. But it's part of its advertisement and is on billboards everywhere, including the Strip. There are advertisements for strip clubs, nightclubs, gentlemen clubs, and even sex work. And we have a situation where both these people, Mr. Kendall was 35, Ms. Garcia, 30 years old. Here again, these are young people just starting their lives off. Mental illness is a real thing. The opioid crisis and stress and anxiety. Here we have 2 individuals engaging in what we consider the oldest profession known to mankind. And for some reason, Ms. Garcia either was possibly wanting to either play games or wanted more money than the $2,000 that was allegedly agreed upon, and it must have ticked Mr. Kendall off, and who knows what he was going through at the time, and maybe he was hiring Miss Garcia just as an outlet to have some fun. And I guess maybe when Miss Garcia decided she needed more money, it ticked him off, and his stress and anxiety and maybe his mental health issues went on a roller coaster ride over the cliff of illegality. Pushing one's button, if that was Miss Garcia's thing, to push his button to see how much she can get out of him. The game is the game, as we all say, but you got to treat the game right, or the game won't treat you right. We will never know what was the true history and what led to Mr. Kendall allegedly strangling and killing this young lady, Miss Garcia, who had 2 children, 30 years old, probably just trying to make a way. She was in school and probably was participating in this kind of career path just to make ends meet. It's a tough time. There's a heavy burden on the middle class and lower middle class. We have this election debate going on with Democrats and Republicans. This is a presidential election year. There are a lot of things going on. Inflation, the cost of goods going up each and every day, while most individuals who are working their everyday 9-to-5 job are not seeing an uptick in their paycheck. So expenses are going up, but income is either staying the same or they have to get a second job to even get an uptick. So people are stressed out in today's time. He probably was getting with Miss Garcia to have some fun, and it turned into something else that triggered Mr. Kendall into committing this heinous crime. That does not make it acceptable whatsoever. He eventually, there's surveillance cameras everywhere in Vegas. There's no way he was going to get away with it, whether he made an anonymous phone call about somebody overdosing in a room at the Palms. All of that sounds sketchy. But we have gotten to a place where our level of inhumanity, not recognize another human being as a person, as God's child, with a soul, with a physical and mental presence, with loved ones that care about them. We don't believe, it seems like in today's time, we don't understand conflict mediation and resolution, working our way through stressful situations. And many individuals are deciding to commit murder, unfortunately. We're seeing this with husband and wives, with children against their parents. I've done innumerable videos about how people in today's time are treating each other as inhumane as possible. We need to garner our humanity back. We need to garner our God-fearing presence and being positive. And this gentleman was an Army veteran, Mr. Kendall, so he was here. He made a decision to protect our country, to go out and be of service. And then, unfortunately, something broke, and he decided to go from being a protector of his country and his family to committing a heinous crime against an innocent woman that did not deserve death. Give her the money, move on, you can go make some more money, but homicide, committing a heinous crime, that will stay with you forever. His family won't be the same, and of course, Miss Garcia's family will never be the same, let alone her 2 children who will need all the help and assistance they can get moving forward. Even not only with their mother dying under this suspicious kind of death, but also the rumors of them finding out eventually that their mother was a sex worker. So there's a couple of dichotomies and issues that are going to further the rumor mill in Vegas and in those 2 families for years to come. It's unfortunate. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.